Hey ladies and gents, SpoonyPizzas here, bringing you some breaking news from eFootball 2022. It's all about version 1.1.0, which is going to be the next one that's coming soon on the 30th of the 5th. So just 3 days away now from this being released, and it's going to mention the following improvements. So they're going to be adding objectives to the Dream Team. Hopefully, that's going to add on top of already the events. What could those be? It could be like a player from a certain country scoring a goal, hopefully, or something, or a number of clean sheets in a row. There's a lot they can probably do with objectives if they use some creative thinking. They've also added game plan lists, so you can now save a maximum of 10 game plans, which is fantastic. Hopefully that's per team if you're playing offline maybe, but I suspect it's just 10 in total. In past, we only had 3 sort of game plan saves that you could use, which wasn't really a lot really, considering that was for all teams. It wasn't just 3 per team. That was for all teams. The Dream Team added suggested function in player progression. Progression points can now be allocated automatically. So this sounds like it's going to sort of probably balance out the stats or apply them in areas where the game automatically thinks they're needed. To be honest, I'm still going to do mine manually, but if the suggestion's correct, then I might give this a whirl just to see how it goes and see if I agree with where they put the points personally. But I think I'm always going to do that manually, and that allows me to develop the player how I want them to develop and play the way I want to play. Updates and additions: updated license data from leagues, clubs and national teams from around the world. Could be some more licenses here possibly. Maybe they got some announcements coming soon. New and updated team manager and player data. This is very interesting because this sounds like it's going to change the GP of some players, so I would suggest signing the likes of Pedri maybe before his price goes skyrocketing up. And it'd be interesting to see how those players, if they develop or increase in terms of GP, or maybe players will drop off and lessen in GP. It's going to be interesting. I'm really going to mix things up. So looking forward to seeing what they do there. Hopefully it's not just a form update where they just adjust the player form. The following data have also been updated. So they updated some stadiums. It'd been interesting to see if they've added new stadiums, but it looks like there's going to be more stadiums. The fact that they include balls, boots, and oh my goodness, commentary? What? They're actually upgrading the commentary. No freaking way. No way. I mean, I actually might be able to turn it on for once and listen to it and see what it sounds like. So that'd be, I can't remember the last time I turned commentary on, because obviously I do my own commentary over the video, so I tend to turn it off even when I'm playing alone, offline or whatever, when I'm not recording. Improvements to the controls, gameplay, fixes and adjustments. So the controls, they've enhanced the input response for cursor changes. So when you select players, this definitely needed a big improvement in my opinion. It is a bit wonky. Certainly the episode 2, I sort of mention it from my Road to Glory series, that the player selection's all over the place, and my opponent was struggling as well, as you'll probably witness. It's quite funny, so it'd be probably worth to check out the episode 2 when it drops. Fixed an issue where pass and clear commands may not trigger properly when the ball is mid-air. I would say not just mid-air, because there's the amount of times I cross the ball into the box and you press shoot and they're in the 6-yard box and they take a touch, and I'm like, why are you taking a touch? Just shoot. So hopefully, they only say around pass and clear commands, so it sounds like your players aren't clearing the ball properly, and that's interesting, because the lob pass, when you use the lob pass button, that is so effective. I don't know if you've tried it, but if anyone's pressing you with the right bumper, using, and you see the 2 blue arrows, if you do a lob pass towards that player, it will go past them every single time, unless you hit them directly in the face. But they won't jump for it. That's what I'm trying to say. They won't jump and try to intercept it, or if it's just off to the side ever so slightly, they won't try to intercept it. They'll just run in a straight line. If it doesn't hit them, it's over their head, and it's so easy to just to lob past your way from defence to the final third, pretty much. So that's going to be interesting to sort of see if your players react better to lob passes, because I found that very easy to sort of manipulate. Fixed an issue where super cancel command fails to cancel command inputted prior to quick free kick and throw-in restarts. That is really good. I hope this applies to goalkeepers as well, because the amount of times I've gone for the goalkeeper, he goes to collect the ball, I've already pressed the button accidentally and there's no way to cancel it, and I just see the power bar, I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then the player intercepts it, and he's got a one-on-one with my goalkeeper, so I'm like, yeah. So hopefully that applies to goal kicks as well. Fixed an issue where making a return pass without any left stick input after performing a 1-2 pass or pass and run will see that return pass being made with speed and directional assists, even though the manual pass level is set to 4. So if you're playing Fuma and you play like a 1-2 or a pass and run, then that ball would be assisted in some way or form. I'm glad they fixed that. That's kind of a glaring issue. I've not heard or seen anyone sort of mention that, which is quite surprising considering there's quite a large Fuma crowd. Fixed an issue where performing a pass and run crossover will see the player who made the initial pass make a run in an inappropriate direction when the manual pass level is set to level 4. So again, if you're set to Fuma, your players are going to be running all over the place and not in the right direction. Don't know why that only applies to manual passing level 4. Kind of bonkers, but it is what it is, I guess. I suppose they can't really work out where the ball's being played from. I don't know, that just doesn't make any sense to me, why that would be an issue, but why that's any different to any of the other levels. Fixed an issue where some commands may become erroneous after assigning player movement to directional buttons in game settings. I wonder if this is what I was talking about earlier. Basically like the shooting not working from perhaps a low cross. It's hard. That is very ambiguous in terms of what it's trying to say. It doesn't make it very clear what it's actually trying to fix. But I get the idea that perhaps the pass or shoot and through ball buttons are not working when you use the player movement, which is kind of weird because for the most part that does actually work. But there's like the only thing I can think of is when you pass it in the 6-yard box and they just don't respond to the shoot commands. Dribbling, enhanced dribbling response. Well, I thought dribbling has been pretty good. I mean, you don't want to make it too responsive. You don't want to make it like FIFA. I think there's a nice balance between attack and defense. So that'd be interesting to see just how much more responsive that is, because it's already hard enough to defend. You don't want to be dealing with like FIFA like dribbling response times, because it's just ridiculous and stupid and unrealistic. Implemented adjustments so that when releasing the left styling stick during a dribble to follow the ball, the player will now adopt an appropriate body position with regards to the ball. To be honest, I think if you release the left styling stick, your player should just stop, right? In my opinion, because you're not putting any input. Why should you be following the ball? That doesn't make much sense to me, but oh well, we'll just have to see how that works, and I'll test that before and after these changes are implemented. And like I said, you know me, I'm going to do a before and after and show you all the different types of comparison and explain my thoughts on these patch notes, and if there's anything else that they change, because sometimes they bring out these patch notes, well actually they hardly ever bring out these patch notes, but it'd be interesting to sort of see for myself if there's anything underlying that they've actually changed that they haven't mentioned here. So coming up, there is a login campaign from the 26th of the 5th, 2022 to the 29th of the 5th, and this is going to allow you a chance to earn 100,000 GP, so that's going to be 25,000 GP per day. Seize the opportunity to fill up your coffers with GP, which can be used to sign players and managers and continue developing your dream team. And finally, on the Twitter feed, they've put up this video all about the eFootball Championship Pro and Championship Open, which is where pros and players alike compete and play on the world stage, basically. And I think this is going to be actually quite exciting. We've got Weza doing the commentary, who's amazing and one of the best at it, to be honest. And I think, this is going to be far better than any PES before it in terms of being able to watch it, because every PES for as long as I can remember, in terms of the professionals playing, it's just been a 1-2 spam fest down the middle. but I think eFootball is going to change that, because that's not really the way you play. I think it's going to be far more interesting to watch, but I'm hoping that's the case anyway. But it's going to be interesting to sort of see how the pros play, if they're using any exploits, or if they're trying to find, you know, glitches in the game that they've been working on whilst learning how to play the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing just how this pans out. I'm going to be tuning in just to see what it's all about, see what tactics they're using, see what method of play they're using, how they're building up, how they're attacking, how they're scoring their goals, how they're defending. It's going to be really interesting. Anyway, that is pretty much it for me, ladies and gents. Hopefully you guys found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care and goodbye.